Yo, what's good? In today's video, we are going to be talking about why you specifically cannot overcome spiritual attacks, right? We're also going to talk about how to truly develop your personal spiritual power. No matter what is happening to you, you can always develop this power. Sometimes it might be harder depending on what you're going through, but you can always develop this power. You see, I've noticed that a lot of people are struggling with spiritual attacks, especially right now. And I kind of get why, because there are certain malevolent forces that are they're trying harder, right? They're increasing the amount of attacks, and they're only doing that because they're losing. So they need to attack heavier and more. You need to understand something though, right? As a person who has fought demons and several different malevolent ETs, right? I know the game on this shit. I really do. I just got done probably like last month dealing with like a certain kind of curse that was being sent my way. I broke that shit easy as hell, to be honest. And the first thing you need to understand, right, is that these attacks, right, that people do to you, right, they're not technically spiritual attacks because they're not of the spirit, right? The attacks that people send your way are energetic, right? AKA, they're more like emotional, right? Because when I say energetic, they're sending you etheric energies, which manifest as emotions, right? They're also astral attacks, meaning that they affect your imagery, right? You may see images inside of your head of certain things, or when you're in the astral plane, you start to see certain visual experiences, right? And they're also mental. They affect your psyche, they affect your thoughts and stuff like that, right? Understand that nothing can affect your soul or your spirit though, but the whole entire goal is to pretty much get you to focus on these different energies and these different thoughts, and then make you create certain experiences for yourself, right? Like, even with the highest levels of evil magic, right, when you might fucking go outside and you encounter like 5 different car crashes, because when people want you dead, right, they can make it where inside your life, whenever you go outside, nigga, it's a car crash there, then a car crash there, and there's a freaking animal trying to attack you and stuff like that. But when they do these things, right, all they're doing is just sending out certain energies for you to pick up on, and also other people. So when you're driving outside, right, the person who almost crashed into you, right, and then the other 5 people, right now they're having their emotions and their thoughts manipulated. So whenever they're driving, they're being manipulated to end up crashing. Then seeing with you, you are being manipulated to go outside at a period of time where all that shit is happening. With animals, they're controlling how the animals are thinking and feeling, and then it causes them to attack you and stuff like that, right? But the way that you break this is to stop letting these different things influence you. How do you do that? By taking control of your consciousness, taking control of your awareness, and choosing what you want to observe. This is why meditation is so crucial. I hear many people say that, oh, I can't meditate because of X, Y, and Z. Sometimes they even act like the other person or the other being is what stops them from being able to meditate. Nothing can stop you from being able to meditate. That's a fucking lie. And you believe these lies. The fact that you believe these lies is showing you why you're getting fucked up. Because this entity or this person is sending you thoughts that really make you believe I can no longer meditate because of what they're doing. And because you believe that thought, you make it your reality. Understand that meditation is simply just choosing to focus on your own energy. It's choosing to focus on your own soul and choosing to focus on your own spirit. The fact that you could watch this video and focus and observe what the freak I'm saying shows you that you literally still have a soul. Because many people say that my soul is trapped. This being has my soul. How the freak do they have your soul if you're literally observing me talk to you right now? These niggas ain't fucking do no Haitian zombification shit, where they actually do kind of trap your soul in a certain kind of sense, right? Like with the whole Haitian zombie stuff, they kind of do. I don't want to say they lock up your soul, but in a kind of way, they pretty much shut down your consciousness, and now you're not really consciously observing anything, right? But that takes very high level magic and also uses of herbs. The fact that you're watching this video, you're clearly not one of those. If you could watch this video and observe me speak to you, you still have your soul, and your soul isn't trapped. What's trapped is kind of your own psyche. You're in a mental trap where you actually believe these things that's being sent to you, and you feel the emotions, you feel the fear, you feel the darkness, you feel the evilness, all that shit. You need to learn how to control your awareness. This is where your personal spiritual power comes from. In fact, in Haiti, they talk about your Dje, right? Your Dje, the word Dje actually means I, right? It relates to your sense of self, right? But not your sense of self as a character, your sense of self as a spirit, as a divine being, right? Literally in this one book that I'm reading, right, you have this girl who's getting initiated by her aunt into voodoo, specifically the Path of Geddon, right? So it's a video about the Path of Geddon, but keep it focused on this video. The little girl's asking about, damn, but there's all these curses and people do all these evil things. How am I going to protect myself? And the aunt gets super stern and super mad. She says, use your Dje, nigga. It's that simple. But what is your Dje? Your Dje is your personal spiritual power. You develop that by literally observing your own soul, simply by meditating. When they talk about how to build your Dje, they talk about you need to stop your thought, right? You need to be able to actually observe nothing. When they say observe nothing, they mean observe your soul, because your soul's just an observer. When you observe the observer, there's no more thoughts. You literally bring a stop to thoughts, right? A lot of people are stuck observing their own mind. They observe the thoughts inside their mind, they observe their emotions, they observe the images, but they don't actually observe their own soul. When you are saying, I can't meditate, you're just stuck observing certain thoughts. And granted, it can be harder to meditate because there's so many energies trying to get your attention, right? But you need to learn to stop observing those. Because here's why defeating the beings, like by fighting, will not always work. You see, this is why a lot of you niggas should read the Bible. I'm not saying that I'm Christian, because I'm not, but the Bible does have wisdom. If you read Matthew, specifically in chapter 12, they have a story about how pretty much when you clean out one spirit, 7 more bad ones come to fill you up, right? So the thing is, right, you can clear out certain energies. You could clear out certain beings. However, if you're still open to the influence that allowed the being to come in the first place, you're going to be cooked. I know this from experience. There was one time where there is a certain demonic spirit within inside of my town, right? That is actually influencing one of my boys, and he is influencing him, and he is conscious of it and can't overcome it, right? It's also influencing other people, right, that are not conscious of it. Now, the thing is, right, I've tried to kill this thing, but you can't kill it because it's not even an entity. It's a spirit. It's an intelligent energy. And this intelligent energy is always going to be alive if people keep on embodying it and feeding it energy. You see, the fact that people observe these different spirits, right, they observe these intelligent energies, that is what keeps them alive, right? Now, I could destroy all the entities, right? Because there are certain entities that align with that intelligent energy. But if I kill the entity, more entities just come back. You know, a lot of entities could just come the fuck back. And then the spirit's going to always exist, right? Now, with me, when I first discovered this intelligent energy, right, it wasn't really effective. I remember I discovered that shit. It was trying to stay very fucking hidden. I discovered it, right? But then at one point, I took shrooms, and because I took shrooms, I got super freaking open. I was so open that this being was able to influence me and send me all of its thoughts and energy, and that shit kind of did have me fucked up. I mean, bro, my body, like certain parts of my body would go numb whenever I thought about it, right? I'm telling you, even if I said its name, bro, my tongue would get numb. I was even talking to my boy through text messages, or through audios, my boy King Cash, right? He wasn't even on shrooms, and he was feeling exactly what the fuck I was feeling. This being is pretty powerful. But the way to stop this thing from influencing me was to observe other things. Even while on shrooms, right, I was able to stop letting it influence me as much. But because I was so open, if I ever thought about it just one time, it would influence me, right? Now, once I got sober, it was super duper easy. But even while sober, if I think about it long enough, is going to influence me, right? That's because inside our mind, we have open doors that accept the thoughts and the energies that come from these beings. You accept the thoughts and emotions. If you're open to accepting these thoughts and emotions, you will never defeat this being. Because if you just kill one, more will come back. People always want to be like, oh, can you fight this being for me? Can you start? No, nigga, that's not going to help shit. In fact, if you have one demon on you, right? And I fight that shit off of you, right? Way more are gonna come back. It's gonna be way harder for you. And let me tell you guys about the experience that I recently had with evil magic being done on me, right? Nigga, I was seeing dead animals everywhere, bro. And anytime I would see one, it was always some bullshit happening. Like one time I almost got into a car crash. One time I lost my fucking wallet. One time I broke my fucking keys that never break, bro. It was mad bullshit happening. In fact, a few years back, when I wasn't as aware of what to do when this type of stuff happens, I actually did get into a car crash, right after being with a person that had very bad energy, right? It was wild how all this stuff happened, but nowadays I'm more aware of how to handle this type of stuff. And the way you handle this by not feeding it attention. You don't give attention to this thing, right? Understand that when I was dealing with this thing, right, I even went to the astral to go fight it because I was seeing it all around my reality, right? And I'm like, bro, I'm gonna go handle this shit. So I went to the astral to go fight it, and I was killing off the first couple of beings, but guess what? More came back, and it was to the point where I would cut these beings' heads off, and it would just regrow, and they would come back stronger and stronger and stronger. Even the cursed, like there's a certain cursed object, right, that I had to put inside this type of substance that would nullify the effects of it, but I couldn't find the substance, right? Long story short, at the very end, I realized that, hold the hell up, right? Because at one point, I had a fear of dying, right, while I was fighting these beings. Then I realized that I'm in the astral and that I can't die. Then once I realized that, I'm like, hold up, I'm in the astral, I can't die. Why am I so worried about this? Also, why am I feeding these beings my anger and attacking them so much? I don't need to do that. Right now, they're literally trying to influence my mind and affect the experiences that I have. I have control. So you know what the fuck I did? Once they all came around me, I gave them a big giant fucking hug, nigga. I gave them a big giant hug and they all disappeared. Now, of course, there was still some residue from these beings around me and stuff like that, but I just stopped letting it affect me. I just stopped observing it, and I just observed my own spirit. I observed my own soul. I just meditated, and I kept the meditative state throughout my whole entire day, and at some point, everything got cleared up. Now I didn't even go really in depth about what was going on in some of my life. There was a lot of bullshit just happening, but I was like, yo, I need to stop, because anytime the bullshit would happen, I'd be like, fuck, that's some bullshit. I'm gonna go fight. You know what I'm saying? I stopped doing that. It stopped happening, I'm not gonna lie. I just got hair oil inside my freaking eye. You feel me? But anyway, yeah. It was that simple, my guy. It was that simple. Now, granted, it could take a little bit of period. It could take a little bit of time. And like I said, if you're constantly being sent certain energies, it may be harder because you have more things fighting for your attention, but that should be even more proof that you need to have more control over the attention that you give to certain things, right? That's why you need to learn how to meditate. I've had videos about true meditation. Watch the videos. That's how you truly save yourself. That's how you build your jet, because you get a certain power from observing your spirit, right? You always get protection because now you're only being influenced by your spirit and not by outside forces. Even if there's other beings outside, right, that are being influenced to fucking get into these car crashes and to do all these things, right? If you're only being influenced by your spirit is going to tell you when to go outside, how to avoid certain things while you're outside. In fact, understand that if you're being attacked right now, your spirit is actually allowing it. Your spirit is in cahoots with whatever being's fucking you up. Because people be wondering like, yo, like, can you fight it off for me? Can you do this for me? Nigga, you have spirit guides that would fight certain shit off for you if they really wanted to. You do have guides that would do that for you. Oh, but guess what? Your spirit does not want your guides to help because this is a time where you need to fucking learn. You need to fucking learn to be in tune with your own spirit. Learn to meditate. Stop saying this being to my ability to meditate. Oh my God, I feel so drained. You feel drained because you're literally believing the thoughts that they're sending you. You're literally attached to this spirit. You are attached to this intelligent energy rather than being attached to your spirit. This is why you need to meditate and observe your own soul and observe your own spirit. If you do this, you will overcome the attack because at this point, nothing can influence you. And it gets to a point where you're not being influenced so much that you're actually draining the being. Understand that if a being is constantly sending you shit, right? They're constantly sending you all that they fucking have and they can't influence you. At that point, it's going to be draining them. It's like in real life, if someone is constantly annoying you and annoying you and annoying you, and you don't give them any attention, at some point, they do stop. They do stop. It's like if a Jehovah's Witness comes to your door and keeps on knocking. If you don't answer, they're just gonna go the fuck away. If you open the door though, you're gonna have to fucking hear what the fuck they gotta say to you about fucking Jehovah and shit. It's the same with the spirits. They'll knock at the door. They'll knock at the door. If you answer it, now you're being flooded with thoughts. Oh, you're weak. Oh, you're trapped. Oh, I have your soul. Nigga, just don't open the fucking door. And if you already opened the door, then fucking close it and look somewhere else. Don't say you can't meditate. It may be hard at first. You need to learn how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Watch the videos that I'll actually, nigga, go to the comment section down below, nigga. I linked both of the videos, bro. Go fucking watch them, my nigga. You need to learn how to meditate, bro. Because meditation is how you learn to control your own awareness and only observe your own spirit and be influenced by your spirit. Then at that point, you stop being influenced by outside forces, which your spirit is actually allowing because your spirit controls your whole life. Your spirit is what makes your timeline. You know, I have a video coming out soon about how to learn from life. But monster, just understand this: your spirit controls your reality, bro. Your spirit makes all your timelines. If you're in a timeline right now where you're being fucked up, your spirit made that for you. It's in cahoots with whatever beings are fucking you up. In fact, I'm also gonna make a video. I'm also going to make a video about why evil is allowed to exist on Earth. Because it helps you fucking grow. To keep it very simple, right? If you're constantly being, understand this, right? A lot of people live their lives, right, where they're never being influenced by demons heavily, right? Now, of course, people are always being influenced by good things and bad things. It's just life. It's always gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people aren't really experiencing heavy demonic attacks, heavy malevolent magic. They're just living their life like any other normal person does. And most people who live their lives in like a normalized way, they never realize the fact that they're not even in tune with their own spirit. They're just living their life, having fun, partying, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever human desire shit they're trying to do, right? And because they're doing that, they're just in tune with the character. They're in tune with their ego. They're not really in tune with their spirit. But if you're being heavily attacked, right, you have no choice but to get in tune with your spirit. Because the thing is, right, like let's say a curse has been done on you, right? And then you had a person lift the curse for you. And like let's say that a person literally cursed you, right? This person cursed you, right? And then you had somebody lift the curse. That does not stop that person from cursing you again. They could just curse you again with a more powerful curse that can't be broken this time. Want to know how you break it? You stop observing the energy that's being sent your way. Like I said, it could be kind of hard because it's always begging for your attention. But that just gives you that much more incentive to control your awareness more and more and more. Like I said, most people are living their lives where they don't realize how they're constantly being influenced by several different things. It's just normal to them, right? Therefore, they have no desire to control their awareness. But if you're being influenced heavy, you're forced to control your own awareness. And because understanding what is your soul, right? I should have been said this, but what is your soul? Here's why no one could trap your soul, right? Nigga, your soul is an individualized focal point of awareness. right? It's your consciousness. It's the thing that observes, right? Right now, you're observing me. So your soul isn't trapped. You're observing me right the fuck now. You're observing me, right? When you get off this video, the demon might come up like, hey. Or in fact, it might be while you're watching this video, you still have the thoughts of saying, this guy's saying some bullshit. This isn't going to work. Yeah, that's the demon saying that. And you're observing those thoughts. Stop observing those thoughts. Stop observing those thoughts. Oh, you can't? Well, do you meditate? Oh, I can't meditate. So you probably stopped trying to meditate, didn't you? Meditate. Meditate. I know I'm making it seem like it's this simple ass answer, but it really is. Like, I'm not saying that it might not be hard, that it might not take some time, but this is what the fuck you need to do. You need to meditate, right? In fact, I'd also recommend that you study different spiritual teachings, right? Beyond my videos, you know? Because when you study different spiritual teachings, you fill your mind up with spiritual lessons. Now, when you have other beings sending you thoughts with inside your mind and sending you different etheric energies, right? With inside of your mind, you also have spiritual information too that could combat these things. I don't care how many demons you fight the fuck off. They'll just come back. Believe me. In fact, with that demon, right? I made a video, right? And so did my boy Cash. We made a video about how we fought this big Archdemon reptilian Alpha Draco nigga, right? Yeah, that nigga left. We fought him and he fucking left. And then his brother came. And his brother's more powerful, you know? And we could fight off this being too. But then guess what? A more powerful one's going to come. You see, the goal is not to always fight off the being, but instead to teach the person who's being affected how to stop being affected. You can fight the being, right? But if you're still open to the same shit that allowed the being to attack you, you just have more beings come through who still exploit that open door that you have. Close the door. How do you close the door? By you stop fucking looking at the door and you look at your own soul. You look at your own spirit. And at that point, your soul and your spirit is the only thing that's going to influence you, you know? Because even with your spirit guides, right? A lot of people love talking to their spirit guides for everything. But your spirit guides are meant to guide you to your spirit. They're meant to guide you to your authentic nature. Once you are in tune with your authentic nature, once you're in tune with your spirit, you don't even need your guides like that. You know, you just get told what to do by your spirit. You get told what to do by your higher self. You know? I wish that I could give you guys some other fucking ultimate key, but there really isn't. Like, even with protection, right? If you do protection spells and stuff like that, there are demons that could break your protection spells. What they can't break is your awareness. They can't control that. They can only manipulate you into observing that more and more and more and more if you don't have control over what goes on within, if you don't have control over what you observe, you know? Because here's the thing, right? When you're influenced by your spirit again, your spirit will naturally protect you from all these things. That's the highest protection that you have, because at that point you're being protected by God. Because you could pray out to God all you want, but God's not no outside force. God's inside of you through your spirit. Because that's why in the Bible it says God breathed into you. God gave you its consciousness and its energy. You have God inside you and it's your spirit. You do. You really do. You must get in tune with that again. You must. That's the only way. It's the only way. You develop your J. I mean, shit, the Haitians talk about it, and I think the Haitians would know better than all you niggas. I'm sorry, but they would, because the Haitians do the fucking cursing. They do the fucking cursing. They make the fucking zombies. They do that. I think that the Haitians know more than you niggas. I think they really do. I think they really freaking do. So don't take my word for it. Take the Haitian. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, nigga. I actually am Haitian, believe it or not. Oh, you niggas ain't know that shit? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a lot of things, to be honest. I know my ancestry heavy, actually, you know? But the Haitians know what the fuck they talking about. And they told you to develop your jet. They didn't say do no protection spell. They said develop your jet. Develop your personal. The reason why jet means I is because I really see your sense of self. your sense of self as a divine being. When you are aware of yourself as a divine being by observing your own divine nature, by observing your spirit, you get certain power from that. You're only influenced by your spirit, and your spirit is the only energy that's flowing through you, and it's the only intelligence that's flowing through you. Therefore, all the thoughts that are being sent your way are not entering your mind, because the only thoughts inside your mind are coming from your fucking spirit. This is real shit. This right here is some real shit. Any other solution that you think is gonna work, a protection bubble, they'll just destroy that. Like, I know it's fucking crazy, nigga. There's a lot of people that got protection spells, right? If I wanted to, I could probably destroy all y'all shits. I could probably destroy all y'all shits, bro. No cap. I could break through that shit. People know how to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not that fucking hard. You feel me? What they can't break is your spirit. You can't see, a broken spirit is just a broken connection to your spirit, but your spirit cannot actually be broken. Learn to meditate. Learn to observe your own spirit and observe your own divine nature. I have the videos in the comments down below. Okay? I love you. I'll catch you in my next video. Please watch the videos about meditation. Peace. The Freak out.